What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be doing part 2 in our series, talking about how you as a content creator can get free keys, free games, so that you can make content for them. But before we do that, let's take a look at our sponsor. Hit the music. Really hard to do. Do you want to look cool? Like really cool? Well, you don't need to be able to do Triple H's entrance to be cool. All you need is one of these shirts. You want to be kecked to our club? You better be kecked to our club for life. I got water everywhere. Aaron's gonna fucking kill me for doing that. Please buy a shirt. Link below. I just finished recording that, and there's water everywhere. So last time we talked about Keymailer, which is a very useful website, but a lot of the games on there are indies titles or lesser known titles. But what if you wanted to be sponsored by someone bigger? I'm talking about AAA games like Outriders, like Midnight Suns, even Final Fantasy. Well, today we're going to be talking about Rainmaker GG, and that is exactly the website that can make that happen for you. The first thing that you're going to see when you go to rainmaker.gg is the login page. But once you get in, it's going to have you link your channels, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Twitch, could be both. But once you're in there, you're going to see the list of games. And these games do not mess around. These are all or mostly AAA titles. They don't update very often, but when they do, these are big games that could potentially give you a big boost in your channel if you take this opportunity seriously. Now here's the downside, the thing that I probably like the least about Rainmaker GG, and it's not a deal breaker, but it does require some extra work on your part. When you go to request a game, it's going to ask you why you think that you deserve the game, because it's not pulling your stats automatically. You're gonna have to go grab these things. Hey guys, FutureChase here, and I just wanted to kind of elaborate on some of the things that I was gonna put in the video because I think I could have explained it better. So I do want to go through and just kind of walk you through what I think that this form should look like when it's filled out, to make sure that you are putting your best foot forward, that you are giving whoever's on the other side looking at the application all the information that they need to tell you yes. So starting off, let's talk about social media followers. You can see here I didn't just put my Twitch, I didn't just put YouTube, but I also put Twitter and Instagram on there. You can also include things like concurrent viewers. You can talk about average viewings, how many minutes people have watched in the past so many months. Whatever you think might be important there for the kind of content that you're going to create for it, make sure to add that in there, because that lets them know not just, hey, you know, I've got all these followers, but also people are actually watching. So make sure to add that stuff in there. The next section, why I want the game. This is probably the only section that can be informal and not be so fact-based. Everything else you want to make sure that it's numbers, that you're throwing numbers in there directly. But why I want the game? It's okay to fanboy out a little bit. Say, hey, I've been a fan of Final Fantasy since I was a kid. Or, hey, I've played every single Assassin's Creed game up until now. I put 200, 300 hours into the last game of yours that came out. I'm a huge fan of you as developers, and I want to be a part of what it is that you're doing. You can talk about those things, no problem. You can see that here. But unfortunately, what I left out and what I should have gone through and thought about before I submitted this, I admit that I rushed this particular application. I know it says Oddworld up there. This one, as you can tell, is for Final Fantasy VII Remake. But I didn't put in the fact that I've streamed Final Fantasy games before. I streamed Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy XI, Final Fantasy XIV, and both versions of Final Fantasy 15. I've done a lot of that stuff. I've also played every single Final Fantasy, even the ones that I didn't stream live. I have experience with. I know these games inside and out. You can also talk about other things for the developer. Square Enix doesn't just make Final Fantasy. I've also streamed Outriders. I also streamed Avengers. Talk about your experiences with those games. You can link them to videos that you've done of previous content, whether it's YouTube or Twitch, if the Twitch still has it. If not, show clips. Be like, hey, here's me having fun with Square Enix games. Show them that you're capable of streaming their content and making it entertaining. Again, factual, all proof. A video link is facts because it says, hey, I've streamed this, and hey, people had a good time when I did it. And then, of course, why you should get the game. Go right back to facts, forget the informal. Lay out your plan of action. When I was in the corporate world, as a supervisor, as a trainer, this is what I would tell everyone on my team. When you need to convince someone to do something, talk about the WIFM. What's in it for me? What's in it for them? Because that's what they care about. If they give you a $70 copy of their game for free, what do they get out of it? Lay that out here. Hey, I'm prepared. Here's what I'm going to do. First things first, a first thoughts video I'm going to post about social media on day one. What I'm going to focus on, because this may not be the newest, a new game. This may be a re-release of the game, or maybe it's coming to a new console. Talk about those things. Hey, I want to focus on the performance. I want to talk about why this game should be purchased. This new version, why it should be purchased. You can see in here that I talked about not only making YouTube videos, but also doing Twitch content, streaming the DLC, showing off the performance so people can see it. A full review upon completion. So far, I've talked about at least 2 videos, at least 1 social media post, and Twitch streams. Did I number these? No, because my Twitch streams are very random. Unfortunately, I don't know how often I can do them because I do have a kid, because I'm working full-time. Right now, it's just kind of taking a backseat for me, but it doesn't have to for you. If you know that stuff exactly, put those numbers in there. Numbers are good. Numbers cannot be disputed. But if you're telling them those numbers, and make sure that you're holding up your end of that deal. And then, of course, I have a Steam Deck. I was going to record Steam Deck footage of this because when they announced Final Fantasy VII Remake was coming to Steam, they said, hey, this works on the Steam Deck day one. So that was going to be part of my pitch. Hey, I'll absolutely put this. And I also mentioned a channel that I recently discontinued that I was going to feature it in the future when the game went on sale, talk about why they should pick up that game at the discounted price. But essentially give them an overview of what your content with that game is going to look like, so that they can say, hey, I absolutely want what Chase is doing. I absolutely want what that person's doing. I'm going to give them a free copy of this game. The last thing that I'm going to say is make sure that you are typing this up elsewhere, because Rainmaker is insanely touchy. If you click off of the screen even slightly, or if you try to highlight something and let go of the click off the screen, it's going to disappear. You're going to lose everything you've typed. Honestly, I think that's why I forgot certain things here, because I lost it and I had to type it back up from memory, and I think I just glossed over some things, and at that point I was so frustrated I just kind of clicked off of it. So don't be like me. Type up a template somewhere else. Plus, you can keep that for future things and just change what you need to. But back to past Chase, hopefully this helped. Form, you have to fill all that information out. You are selling yourself to the developer to say, hey, here's why I deserve this shot. Once you've submitted your information, you're pretty much just playing a waiting game. Now, just like with the last video, don't be afraid of rejection. You're probably going to get rejected, or at least ignored, more often than you get acceptances. I've only been accepted twice so far on this website, but both of those were sponsorships by Square Enix. Like, it's my dream when I was a kid. I literally have Final Fantasy tattoos on my body. So for them to say, hey, we want you to play our video games, we want you to play Final Fantasy Origins, we want you to play Chrono Cross Remastered, it was like a dream come true. And it can be the same thing for you. You just got to make sure that you're working on your content and that you're keeping your head up while people are telling you no, until someone finally gives you the chance. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you like the content, hit the thumbs up below. It helps a lot. I've heard from bigger YouTubers that every time someone clicks that button, it lets 5 other people see the video. Imagine how much you could help me out by clicking that button. If you want to subscribe to the channel, you can do so right here. And if you want to watch the first part of this video series, you can do so right here. I'll see you all on the next one.
Super Kick Party! Bam, 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 bam.